Good evening and welcome to another episode of Let Us Connect, live here in Santa Barbara on Channel 17. We're so glad to be with you again for this next whole hour. And as I always say, it's going to be a wonderful show, new and exciting, and we're going to have call-ins at about half an hour from now. And so get ready to call in to ask our wonderful guest, who I will introduce in just a few minutes. In fact, I'm going to do it very quickly, because we brought her back and she so graciously came down. And I want to welcome you, Usha Tuvell, back, one of our favorites, one of my favorite guests.
Oh, thank you.
And you look absolutely ravishing in your pink.
Oh, thank you.
Is that, it's beautiful. Wow.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm just upstaged tonight, and that's fine. I don't mind.
You look beautiful, Martha.
Oh, thank you. Anyway, is that a particular, what do you call this outfit, and what part of India does it originate? Or
it originates from North India.
North India. Okay, it's not like a traditional sari.
It's not a sari. Sari would be like 6 yards of flowing fabric that you wrap around yourself.
Yes.
This comes with long pants and a long shirt and a long a skirt. I mean a scarf.
A scarf.
And it's called shalwar, which is the pant. Kameez. It's like the French chemise.
Yes,
it's kameez.
Chemise, okay.
Kameez. And this is the chunni.
And these, I notice in a lot of the apparel from India in the East that it's much brighter or much more beautiful colors, more bright colors or pure colors.
We love colors.
Yeah.
We love colors.
None of that gray for you, huh?
Men would wear a lot of the
men always have to wear gray.
All the neutrals.
Yeah, I know.
We get the grays, the naturals, the browns.
Yeah, it was back in the 60s and 70s they wore those, you know, those
the long
colors
kurtas,
and the tunics and all of that and frizz their hair. I gave my husband a permanent during that time, and he's tall. We have pictures of that, of the hair up there. Yeah, it's really, really cute. He still can't believe we did that then.
Oh, wow. But then that was the age of the bell bottoms. And
the whole thing.
Those jackets with the wide lapels.
Yeah,
right?
and my daughter swore, I will never, ever wear bell bottoms again. Never. This was like a sacred vow. Lo and behold, there they were again.
Yeah. And they call it retro.
Yeah, there we go. So we're having fun. I just had a feeling it would be fun tonight, and having you on, although we're going to discuss and talk about some very wonderful things and what you've been up to and about what you do and your wonderful healing and your psychic clairvoyant work tonight. Again. Sure. And I know everyone is really glad to see you here.
I am too.
But right now, I just want to take a couple minutes to honor. I'm going around and letting the audience know about our crew members, because we have such fantastic crew members.
Yes, you do.
Yes, we do. And they're always here, and they're just, yes, it's wonderful. It makes it really wonderful to work here and for my guests and everything. So last show, we talked about JP Montalvo.
Oh, all right.
And it was really fun. We get to see them, everything.
Sure.
Other camera people get to take shots of them and when they're not looking and and all. But I don't want to go on too long. But anyway, this week, and we wanted to say that we talked about JP last week, but when we put his mom's name up and his aunt's, they weren't right. Got the wrong last name and the wrong name, so we did a couple graphics. We did a graphic so that we could correct that, and if they're watching, you can see that that should be the right name, and for JP's mother and his aunt, who he really spoke fondly of, by the way. So I wanted to get that up there just as a correction and to honor them. But this time, we're going to talk a little bit about Art Kappelman. Art Kappelman, and maybe we can take a little look at Art over here on camera too, and let you know, because all these people that are crew members, they have very interesting lives, and they all volunteer down here.
Oh, wow.
But at the same time, it just brings so much to us. And so, Art, we want to talk about you a little bit. There he is. Look at that. Come on, give a little wave and a smile. And Art, and I always ask, well, what would you like to say? And he said that he'd like to say that he's the second oldest producer here at Channel 17.
All right.
Only Captain George of Alive After 65 beats him, and that he's also the producer of his show American Patrol, which has been on in the past and hopefully will be on again. And this deals with veteran stories and issues.
Oh, wow.
So Art is a veteran And I'm going to
Okay.
talk a little bit about that here just for a second. That he enlisted in the Army Air Corps in World War II when he was 17.
Wow.
Now your husband was in the Marines, right?
He was in the Marines. And
Okay.
yes, he enlisted when he was 17.
Wow. Which war was he in?
He was in the Marine Corps from 81.
Oh.
And he did go to this one island, Grenada.
Okay.
He went to Grenada.
Oh, he went to Grenada during that
And,
time.
And he
Reagan.
wanted to go to Beirut, but they sent him to India instead to meet me.
And he met you. So we're going to kind of
Exactly.
weave your story in here. So Art got his wings at 19 and in the Navy and served in the Pacific in photo recon. And he is a wonderful a graphic artist. And
Oh,
so I'm going
wow.
to show a little thing that he just showed me a little while ago in a minute. But I want to say that he's quite a guy. He served in the Pacific during the Korean War and flew 55 missions.
55 missions.
Came home
Wow,
after
Art.
they won the war, and he said when he was 2 years old, he witnessed Charles Lindbergh taking off for Paris, but he doesn't remember it because he's
Wow.
2. Maybe. Now you remember some of the things from really early age, don't
A
you?
much younger age.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. Well,
yes.
maybe Art does too. He's just he
People
needs
can
a little
have
bit.
a
Yeah.
memory even when they're in the fetus position.
Oh, really? Now,
Yes.
say a little about that memory when they're in the fetus inside
Inside.
in utero.
And that,
What do
that
they
happens
remember?
when if the fetus in the fetus, I guess, evolvement situation, if the child opens his eyes, the first memory would be of the amniotic fluid.
Aha.
And I used to have memories of like something gray is coming down on me, and that was one of the memories.
And it was actually
I was
being
in a
the
hurry
womb.
to be born, so I opened my eyes too soon.
Well, you're Aries, aren't you? They're in hurries.
always in a
They
hurry.
get things done, I'll tell you.
Exactly, but 55 missions, wow,
It's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yes,
That's
and
beautiful.
then came home, and I'm so glad that he's a part of Let Us Connect as well.
Wonderful.
And anyway,
wonderful.
but you're talking about swimming, and he said, it was so funny because the next thing he said here was that he was a very strong swimmer.
All right.
Maybe he does remember. So he did some water shows on the East Coast and appeared at resort hotels. He's a pretty roundabout guy
Yeah.
here. And then he traveled traveled through 9 southern states with his own airplane, and he says he had a fast car.
So
Now,
he had
Art,
the
do you still
airplane.
like fast cars? You do. What do you have now? A Maserati.
All right.
Oh boy! So you can see he didn't just want a pilot; he wanted to ride. Okay, so we're going to go on here for just a minute. He marketed architectural products, and then he came into his career of commercial art during that time. And so he took several awards, and he competed against large advertising honors and large advertising agencies, and took honors for that.
Wow.
Then he left D.C. and got into real estate. He sounds like you. Now you.
I wasn't in real estate.
No, but you were in the in a business, weren't you?
Yes,
Now,
yes.
what was your degree in again? International.
International relations,
Uh-huh.
and then I got my master's in economics.
Okay, so what did you do in that secular field before you started? I mean, I'm sure you were. We've talked about this before, being very
Yes.
psychic in that world. But
I worked with magazines. I worked with Caterpillar heavy duty equipment.
That's
I
right.
worked with Max Factor Cosmetics, and my
Okay.
last position was with Business Week.